This video is for multipotentialite neurodivergents creatives or entrepreneurs who want to get in the top 1% of their chosen field without burning out. So in this video, you're basically going to learn how to increase your impact without using less energy. It will significantly help you avoid burnout. It will remove much, not all, of your creative anxiety. It will help you make decisions easier, and it will help you gain peace of mind. So what is the problem? The problem is multipotentialite neurodivergents have a very limited amount of energy, and we waste most of our energy overthinking and over-analysing, trying to solve problems that are unsolvable or trying to control situations that are uncontrollable. And this basically means that we get stuck in overthinking loops and we burn out, not because we're doing too much, but because we're thinking too much but not taking action, okay? So basically we want to be all zen as fuck, but really what we do is we feel like we're drowning. We believe we can control everything. This is an anxiety response, or at least it is for me and many of my clients, in that we think by controlling everything, we're actually controlling or managing our anxiety. But the truth is, because we're trying to control things that are uncontrollable and we're failing at it, then that actually creates our anxiety. So that was a lesson I learned 5-10 years ago, which was a real game changer for me. So we can't control everything. It's impossible. The only things that we can actually control is our attitude, our effort, and our reactions, which is everything internal. Anything external is something that we can't control. And there's a thing called the dichotomy of control, right? And that was basically a Stoic philosopher called Seneca, and he came up with this. And this is a really, really simple question that you should ask yourself when you're faced with problems or you're overthinking things. And that is this simple question: can you control the situation? No? Then chill the fuck out. So for example, let's say you're worrying about the amount of views on videos. Can you control how many views you get in the videos? Well, the answer to that is no. So chill the fuck out. There's no point in wasting your time or energy focusing on that, because it just doesn't move the needle. It's impossible. It just creates more stress and anxiety. Okay, what can you control? Can you control how engaging you make your content, or the information or the visuals of your content? Well, yes, you can. So then kick its ass, right? So that's basically what you should focus on. And this is really, if you think about it, is a high performance creative hack, right? Based on Pareto's principle. So because we know that 20% of our effort gets 80% of our results. Okay? Now, what is 20% of the effort? How can we know what that is? That is basically what we can control. So that means that anything that is in our attitude, our effort, and our reactions, we can control that. So if we focus all our energy on that, we're going to be more successful and we're not going to burn out as much. So this is a really, really important thing. So let's have a look at things that I can't control. I can't control how many views, likes, or comments I get. I just can't. Worrying about it is futile, and it's just depleting my energy, which means I can't focus on the things that can actually move the needle. I can't control how others perceive my work. The audience either like my videos or my content, or they don't. There's nothing I can do, okay? I can't control whether people like me or not. This is a people-pleasing thing. People either like me or they don't. I can't control whether trolls leave comments. They do or they don't. I can't control past failures or mistakes. I can't change the past. Equally, I can't change the future. I can't predict the future. So, and this is a really difficult one because, of course, most, if not all, our anxiety is in the space of the future where we're worrying about what may happen. And as we know, 95% of the things we worry about don't actually happen. So again, this is wasting energy on things that don't make any difference. Now, look, none of this is easy. In fact, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. However, if you practice these things repeatedly, then you will start to gain this mindset where you will start to feel anxious, and then you will stop yourself and start focusing on things that you can control. I know because I've done it, and I've had scores and scores of clients that have done the same and gone on to be really successful. Okay, so let's look at things that I can control. I can control the time, the effort, the energy I invest into my creativity. I can make my content as good as it possibly can be, and then I have to surrender, and the algorithm or the audience will like it or they won't, right? I can control the content I enjoy making. I can control whether I follow my curiosity or not. So I have an option to follow my curiosity, which is very intuitive, which is very authentic, because you can't obviously fake curiosity. And that takes me through creative paths or doorways that I didn't even know existed, because one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing. That's a choice. Or I can do what most people do, which is follow the traditional path. They go to colleges, get jobs they hate. Yeah, they trade their purpose and meaning in life and creativity for the security of a paycheck and some job they fucking hate, right? So that is actually a choice. I can control how authentically I show up. That is a choice that I can make. Am I going to create content for myself or for the audience? Am I going to show up as somebody that I like or conform myself into someone that you may like? I can control how I help other people. I can control how I react to bad situations. I can take the positive or the negative. I can laugh at trolls, which I do. Trolls for me are just very pathetic, insecure people who are too scared to put out their own content, so they criticize others. That's what trolls are, right? So that's my choice. I choose to laugh at them as opposed to letting them impact my creativity or my output or anything like that. So let's have a look here. Where are we? Right, this bit here. So this is how to become unfuckable. Again, this is incredibly difficult thing to do. Probably the most difficult thing you will ever do. However, if you want to be in the top 1% of your industry, your field, your creative platform, whatever it is, then these are the things that you have to master. And none of this will come easy. None of it will come quick, but it will come if you do it repeatedly. Okay, so everything in life is a choice. Okay? And there's things that we can control and things that we can't control. Okay, the things that we can control will help us become confident, calm, certainty, and secure. The things that are out of our control makes us more anxious, perfectionistic, uncertain, and insecure. So, what are the choices? The choices are, how do we show up in the world? Are you living a life that's true to yourself, or are you living a life of what other people expect of you? Right? This is the most important question in your entire life. The reason for that is because it's the most common dying regret, at which point it's too late. The most common dying regret is, I wish I'd lived a life that was true to myself and not a life that other people expected of me. So this is super important, but it's not a question that people kind of ask themselves directly. It kind of only comes up towards the end of their life, and you don't want to be in that situation. And this is all about authenticity, right? This is about creating for yourself, and this is about being yourself, and so on. Now, I am living a life that's true to myself. So this is a choice that I have chosen, and this means I feel like I'm in control. When bad shit happens, we can either look at it with delusional positivity or negative catastrophizing. So let me explain. When I first put out my first video on TikTok, I fucking hated it. It's still there. I haven't deleted it. Every fiber of my body wanted to delete it because I was focusing on the negative. I was focusing on the fear of judgment, the criticism, people laughing at me, comparing myself next to others, all these kind of negative emotions. But I stopped myself by employing what I call delusional positivity. And that means that instead of looking at the negatives, I looked at the courage and the strength it took me to post a video knowing that it was cringe. So the video is cringe. There's no question about that. I fucking hate it. But rather than focusing on the negative of the cringe, I looked at the positives of posting a video knowing that it was cringe. Now that helps build my strength and what we call trait confidence. So how to do hard stuff. It takes courage to do hard stuff. Okay, we can focus on the fears. When I first started to post on TikTok, I was consumed with fears of failure, perfectionism, as I was in every creative project I'd done preceding that. Okay? And that's what stopped me getting started. Or even if I did start, I didn't give it 100% because I was fearful. I thought, well, if I don't invest so much effort into it, I won't feel so embarrassed if it fails. But that is obviously a self-fulfilling prophecy. So basically what I do is I focus on the courage and the strength to overcome the hard thing. So whatever the fear is, I overcome that fear, and then I build that, I take that energy, and then that becomes my courage and my strength. And if you keep repeating that, that becomes part of your identity. If you keep avoiding your fears, that will also become part of your identity, and you will never ever get. This is where the 99% of whatever industry you're in, this is the 99% of the ones that avoid their fears, and the 1% of the people are the ones that go towards their fears. Okay? That's been my experience of working with art, or 30 years of top tier creativity. People pleasing. So we can either be someone that we like and accept ourselves, or we can conform, we can hide away parts of us and put on all these masks and these personas to create this fake, inauthentic persona that hopefully you will like, that you will accept. But the problem is that by creating this persona that you may like, I will dislike myself. By trying to create a persona that you will accept, I will not accept myself. Because what I'm actually doing is reinforcing my deep feelings of not being good enough. Because if I felt good enough, why would I hide all these parts of myself? Why wouldn't I just be authentic? Now, this, again, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you try and become a people pleaser, you will never feel authentic, you will never feel good enough, because you know you're hiding parts of yourself away in order to try and be liked and accepted by the tribe, right? Whereas if you do this and focus on liking and accepting yourself, you will be authentic, and it doesn't matter what they think. You hope they like you, but if they don't, what can you do, right? But this means you like and accept yourself. Super important, okay? Now, in creativity, you either create for yourself or you create for the audience. Now, it makes sense to find out what the audience wants and then create content for them. But it doesn't work that way, because you don't know, the audience don't know what they want, you don't know what the audience wants, so you end up second guessing. And because you're trying to please the audience, that means there's a possibility of failure, which means there's a fear of failure. And if there's a fear of failure, that means there's perfectionism. And if there's perfectionism, it means there's second guessing. And that means you're going to just cripple your creativity. You're going to play it safe. You're going to dumb down all your ideas because you fear the rejection. Now, this is all what happens when you create for the audience. When you create for yourself, you know what you like. You know instinctively, innately, that this is good content that resonates with you. So you create for yourself, and then once it's finished, you find an audience who agrees with you. So imagine that you're doing, I don't know, setting up a t-shirt business, but you can only do one color. You're trying to second guess what color the audience wants, but some of them like a black t-shirt, some of them like blue, pink, green, whatever, right? You have no idea what color of t-shirt to create. So you end up bouncing, flip-flopping from one idea to the next, second guessing yourself, getting yourself into perfectionistic spirals, right? However, I know I like black, so I just make a black t-shirt, and then once it's finished, I find other people that like black t-shirts. It's the inverse of doing it, but this removes all the pressure from you as a creative person or an entrepreneur, whatever it is, your SaaS product, or whatever kind of creative entrepreneurship you are endeavoring to do, or you're on the journey of doing. So I hope this helps. Peace out.